What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It's your boy Trey and his Wonder Wife Sarah, and we just got back from the theaters checking out the new John Wick Chapter 4 film. Woo! I freaking love this
So
film.
pumped.
It was like the one thing I could think about throughout this entire film. It's the longest John Wick film yet. It doesn't feel that way, but it's like there was a quote from a movie that just kept like popping up in my head from I think Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Mm-hmm. And it's that scene where Gene Wilder's like,
the suspense is terrible.
He's gonna go this time.
I hope it'll last.
and it does.
It does.
Throughout the entire film. It's just action-packed, and it's like the coolest choreography, like fights, stunts, cinematography for like kind of just that mixed martial arts fighting kind of.
It's a very, very good, well done action movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
All of the action fighting, it's beautiful.
So,
Masterpiece.
oh, you would say a masterpiece.
What in the
I mean, I wouldn't say it tops Top Gun.
Top Gun? Yes, sir. God help us.
But it's definitely this year's, so far, masterpiece.
So far this year, for all the films that have come out. Now, we haven't seen Creed 3 yet, but we've seen movies like 65, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Ant-Man 3. So, I mean, we've seen quite a few films out in theaters this year, but this one, in terms of the other John Wick films, is this your favorite one?
No, I don't think it's my favorite one. I mean, like, you know, the first one is always the best one.
The first
series.
one's tough to top, right? Yeah.
But, I mean, it's like, you know, you watch the first movie and then you expect the next movies to not be as good. Not the case.
Oh, I man, it's so tough to me because it's like the John Wick films are just. Sarah was the one that actually like turned me on to them because like I had never watched the first one. When someone like told me the concept of it at first, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. And then when we heard the third one was coming out, you're like, I gotta watch the other two. So I watched the first movie, and you saw me like squirming in my, in the couch next to you, just like, well, like this scene is crazy. There's so much action, but just like some like iconic lines. And Keanu Reeves is such a badass, and the fact that he's like doing the stunts.
I know, right?
And even in this film, like he, I will say, he doesn't have a ton of lines in it, but I mean,
Actions speak louder than words, and he's got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Not verbally.
not verbally, mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what more do you need Keanu to say, though, in this type of film where he's just kicking ass all day? And just some of the new characters they brought in to this franchise were, like, really awesome. I recognized one of the actors who I think the last time I saw him in a movie was the Star Wars Rogue One. And I think he plays a blind guy in that as well.
Are you kidding me? I'm blind.
Donnie Yen, who plays this character Kane, and he's just like, his character's so cool. He adds a bit of comic relief in it. He's a badass. There's so many great things. The villain they set up with Bill Skarsgård is amazing.
He's just good at playing a bad guy.
He is, yeah. I mean, the moment you see him, you kind of get the Pennywise vibes again, you know. So he's just Clancy Brown, my boy Clancy Brown. You know how I feel about Clancy Brown from Starship Troopers.
Yep.
Love that guy.
It is the best. But what makes you think you're good enough?
It was just wonderful to see him. Obviously, the kind of the big elephant in the room is seeing Lance Riddick. What was it like for you seeing him?
It was a little hard. Yeah.
And it was like a big shock to us all. And like Lance Riddick, like I've loved him from the Destiny games. He's been in like so many films that like his
voice is just iconic.
Iconic voice. And just as I think Lawrence Fishburne said during the red carpet premiere that like his character is really kind of the heart of this film and kind of the kindness in it, I guess you could say. And it was just so nice to see him. They did do a little thing for him at the end. There is a post-credit scene, so make sure you guys stick out
all the way to the end.
All the way at the end. General thoughts about the movie without spoiling anything. Give us your initial thoughts.
I mean, I would say it's definitely one of those action movies that's just full of guns and fighting, and it's fabulous, and I love it.
Oh, totally. And there's moments where, you know, they pull out some good laughs. The theater was almost completely sold out, and like people were
They did a good job with like subtle humor, but it wasn't ridiculous.
yeah, not like over the top or like
Right.
where it ruins a scene or anything like
Right.
that. It was just like
Very
tasteful
well
humor.
placed, yeah.
Yeah, and very well placed. Like you said, some of the highlights to this movie for me was just some of the film locations that they did were just like stunning. The choreography obviously is like top notch, especially the fighting choreography and the cinematography of how some of it was shot. Story wise, I felt like it was still pretty strong. There was definitely something kind of propelling you throughout the film. I would say for me, honestly, as weird as it sounds, I was at like a 9.4 out of 10 throughout the entire film until the very end.
Yeah.
And we won't spoil the end for you, but like you even kind of felt the audience at the end of the movie was kind of like, wait, what just happened? Like, really?
Right. There was a little bit of disappointment there, but
It was confusion.
right.
Yeah, is the best way. And I'm not even including the post-credit, which I felt like people were kind of disappointed with the post-credit as well. Literally, I was hearing people
Yeah.
around me saying like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of that? Or like, why wouldn't you show what happens, you know? So if you take out the ending, you know, or how they handled it, I would say for me, yeah, I was at a 9.4, but I'm probably more at a 9.2 or something like that. And I mean, it's still, in terms of an action flick, like,
Phenomenal.
top notch.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite action films.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, and especially with like kind of that, like, I think as I said it earlier, like the mixed martial arts kind of types of films where it's just like, just that crazy fighting choreography, like Mortal Kombat kind of thing going on.
Right.
It's just like, this was, I mean, you get exactly what you want out of it. I never felt like the film was too long. Did you felt like that?
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, and it's like,
I mean, we got there and it was one of those, I thought it was, oh, the movie's gonna end, like, we're coming up to time, they're gonna have to cut all these scenes short, and then they don't cut the scene short, and you're like, yes!
I mean, there's some long action sequences,
Yeah.
especially in the third act. There's like one that's pretty much like 25 minutes nonstop.
Yeah.
And you would think you would get bored of it, but you don't, because
No.
it's like, it's so crazy. And the fact that, you know, I feel like with some of those action sequences in other films, you can tell they like try to hide the actor's face because they had to put it in a stunt double.
Yep.
But the fact that you're like seeing Keanu Reeves,
Doing all of it.
yeah, is just like, and I know he's done it for a lot of the other films. He's just like, it's so cool. It's awesome. And it allows for brilliant cinematography. And I just can't say enough great things about it. Sarah, would you recommend seeing it in theaters? And
Absolutely.
we usually like to see films in Dolby Theater because of the sound quality, the picture quality. Is this a film worth paying the extra $1 to see
absolutely.
it? I thought so too.
Sound quality, I mean, you feel like the gunfire and the punches, you feel it in your seat.
I will say the sound editing, and you guys know me, like, I really pay attention to that stuff. Part of my enjoyment came from really hearing like the gunshots in
Yeah.
like different, and you could like hear the bullets like come by your, like,
Yep.
It was insane. Like, whoever did the sound designing, brilliant job. The music was cool. There's some prosthetics that was kind of similar to what they did with Colin Farrell as Penguin that was just as good in this, and it's like crazy. Yeah. Yeah. But overall, I loved the film. I think you guys are, I think it's a kick-ass film. You get exactly what you want out of it. I just can't wait to, hopefully, I don't know, we'll see what happens if, you know, there's a potential sequel in it, but
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
make sure, if you haven't already, smash that like, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, and more importantly, let us know in the comments. Did you like this film? Did you go to see it? Do you plan on getting the DVD when it comes out eventually? We want to hear from you guys. Give us your rating for John Wick Chapter 4. We'd love to hear from you guys. I'm Trey with his wonder wife, Sarah. And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bat time.
Same bat channel. See you later, guys.